Hello, it's Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. Okay, I am taping this today, Thursday, September 30th, and today is the last day of celebration for 2021. So now is the time to place an order to receive a free item from the celebration. So 11:59 tonight p.m. is the end of celebration for 2021. And I'm going to be using two of the free items that you can earn on my card for making my card today. I'm going to be using the Counting Sheep, which is free with a $50 purchase. And I'm going to be using the sheep dies, which is also free with a $50 purchase. But time is running out, so place your order today. Earn those free celebration items, whatever you choose out of the celebration catalog. You can place your order from product from the mini catalog, the mini July through December 2021 catalog, or our annual catalog. If you do not have either one of these catalogs, reach out to me. I'll have the information in the description down below, and I would be glad to send you our catalogs. Anytime is a great time to join my team, but right now during celebration, and today is the last day, if you have been thinking about being a discount shopper, saving 20%, joining, this would be an awesome time to join my group of Rustic Barn Stampers, because you will get to choose a starter kit, any product you want, $125, but you pay $99 and free shipping. But plus today, during our last day of celebration, you also can choose a bundle from these 12 bundles in the mini catalog. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that, because then you can save 20%, be a discount shopper, be part of my Rustic Barn Stampers. We have a private Facebook group, and we have a lot of inspiration on there. So again, just wanted to kind of remind you. Okay, our card today, as I said, we're going to be using the Counting Sheep. I'm going to be using this image here. We're going to make a birthday card and use So Glad It's Your Birthday. Use this little hat. I'm also going to be using the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. It adds a little texture to the wool of our sheep. And the sheep dies, we're going to use this fence and the sun, the balloon, and the hat. And we're going to need the sheep die to cut out our sheep. So I'm going to lay those aside. And we're going to need Real Red ink, Bumblebee, Balmy Blue, Misty Moonlight, Granny Apple Green and Old Olive, and Memento Black ink. I'm going to start with our thick basic white, 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to use black Memento ink. And this step you wouldn't necessarily have to do, but I like to do it because this way I can place where I can decide where I want to place my sheep and work around it. So that is why I like to ink this up. And then I'm going to place this, about right here. And then I'm going to lay that aside, because while we have our ink out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink up the little sheep again. And then we will be die cutting this one out. But before we cut out or die cut our sheep out, I'm going to lay our sheep in our embossing folder. And this is our Tasteful Textile embossing folder. And you can place the sheep this way or the other way. I'm going to go ahead and lay it this way, and I'm going to run it through our cut and emboss machine. And here we go. We have our sheep has, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has texture. So now I'm going to bring in our mini cut and emboss machine. And put layer 1, layer 2, and bring in our die, and we'll place that right over our sheep. And then I like to bring in some sticky notes just to place on there, just to make sure it's not going to move. And then we will go ahead and run this through and die cut out our sheep. And I'll lay this aside. And we'll gently take off our sticky notes. And we'll lay our sheep aside for later. And we will bring in the mini cut and emboss machine a little bit and do some more work with it. But I want to go ahead and do our blending with our inks. And I have already stamped. Well, I'll just do that now to show you. But take a sticky note. So I'm going to make a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up for the third time our little sheep. And I'm going to put it at the top of this, where the sticky part is, on the back side of that. And then I'm going to take scissors and I'm going to fussy cut. And I've already taken my snips and I cut around and made a mask. So I'm going to use this for a mask. So you actually would not have to stamp the sheep. I did, and then I'm going to put a mask over it. So I'm going to put this sticky note right over it because I do not I want that to be not shaded in. Because I just think it's going to look natural. So you could do the blending like I'm going to do. I'm going to add grass and I'm going to add the sky. And even because I'm going to be placing my sheep right here, which would be covering up, but I just want it to be natural. I think it looks better when you do this. But so let's go ahead and start with the sky. So I'm going to bring in my lighter, which is the Balmy Blue. And bring in my blending brush. I'm also going to bring in just a little scratch, small grid paper that we sell that goes with the Stamparatus, but it's also great to use in lots of other different ways, and this is one way. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my blending brush with the Balmy Blue, and then I'm going to go ahead and start over here on the scratch paper. And then just add some Balmy Blue to my card layer, and then pick up some more. So I'm going to use Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight for the sky. So you just go ahead and I just kind of, you can either go in circles or just kind of roll back and forth to pick up the ink. And then just start it here on the scratch paper. Otherwise, it kind of makes a glob of ink on your cardstock. And it's just kind of however far down that you want to go. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the Misty Moonlight, the darker ink for the sky. And I like where it has a little bit of white showing, because that way it kind of looks like clouds. So I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm going to go right over the top of the sheep. And just kind of light into the, kind of blend that down a little bit. Okay, so I think that looks good for our sky. And now we're going to add some grass. So I'm going to put this aside, and then how I will wash it is just run it under water and let it dry. It takes about 24 hours for the brush to dry really well. So I'm going to be using Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. And I think I'll go ahead and start with the Granny Apple Green first. It's a little brighter color. And I brought in a new, well, actually, I've used this brush, but it's a clean brush, is what I'm trying to say. And so we'll go ahead and pick up some ink. And I'll start down here. And we'll just add some grass. And I'm going to just bring some right over here. And now we're going to lay that aside. I'm going to leave it open in case I want to come back with some more Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to bring in, I'm going to use the same, I'm going to come in with Old Olive. I'm going to use my same brush because they're both green. And then I'm going to come over here on the side. Okay, I think I like that. So I think we're going to stop. I don't think I need to add any more Granny Apple Green on that. So I'm going to go ahead and close these up. I brought in Real Red. I want to go ahead and finish our stamping. So I'm going to stamp So Glad It's Your Birthday. And we'll put that right here. And then I'm going to bring in the bumblebee. And we're going to stamp the hat. A little birthday hat in bumblebee. And I'll place that right here. And sometimes I'll do an extra one just in case when I die cut I don't get it exactly right. I have an extra one. I'm going to bring in this double oval punch, and it is on page 150 of your annual catalog. I'm going to go ahead and line that up. Set that aside, and then we're going to go ahead and do a little die cutting. So I'm going to set this aside and bring in our mini cut and emboss machine. So I have our little hat, the die cut on that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in a bumblebee and bring, which you wouldn't need quite as large of a piece because we're just going to be using the sun die. And I don't think I need to put a sticky note on that, but I could. And then we're going to go ahead and die cut these out. So we have our sun. And we have our little hat. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our crumb cake. Bring in our fence. We're going to lay that down so the flat side is toward you. Always remember that. And we'll run this through our cut and emboss machine. And it's okay if it makes some noise. It's fine. You just have a couple little pieces to punch out, and you can use take your pick tool, or if you have a nail, it'll come right out. Isn't that cool? Okay, and then we need some balloons. Since we're making a birthday card, we want to have some balloons. And I'll bring in our scrap of Real Red and our balloon die. And I already have another one cut out, so I'm going to die cut two, but I'll just do one now because I already have one already finished. So we'll just go ahead and die cut this, set this aside. And here is our balloon. All right, it's about time to put our card together. So I don't want to lose all of these pieces, so I'm going to set them over here. Add that other balloon that I have, and bring in our card base. We're going to add this layer right inside our card base. So I've added some adhesive, and now we're going to go ahead and place it inside our card base. Since we're using Real Red, we want to use a basic white so you can see when you write on it. And we'll get it evened up here and then press it down. Gonna get this out of the way. So we have two sides, and this is really pretty, but I'm going to use the crumb cake because it will kind of coordinate with our fence that we cut out in crumb cake. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on this beautiful side of the Designer Series paper. Sometimes it's just tough to decide. They're both sides are so pretty. And again, I am using the Counting Sheep, which is a free stamp set that you can earn today by placing a $50 order. So I'm going to press this down. Then I'm going to bring this in, and we can go ahead and take our little mask off. And it's cute just like this. So if you don't have the dies, you can just stamp your sheep right on your cardstock, and that would work fine too. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals. If you watch me, you know I like dimensionals. You could probably get by with 5, one in each corner, one in the middle. But if you're going to mail this, you might want to add a few extra like I have, because you don't want the layer to come off during in the mail or in your envelope. So now we're going to place this right on the front of our card. I feel like I need to move it over just a little bit. See if we can get this lined up a little bit better. Then you just have to kind of commit, right? Okay, we committed. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in our die cut sheep, and we're going to go ahead and pop him up right here. So I've added 3 dimensionals, taken the backs off, and then I'm just going to place him right over where we stamped earlier. There we go. And then on our fence, I'm going to, on this left side, I'm going to put a mini dimensional right here. And I'm going to attach this string to our balloon right there, but I'm also going to go ahead and add mini glue dots, or not mini glue dots, but mini dimensionals to our fence. And I think that'll be fine. And then I am going to take this one off. And I guess I already have the backing. And then I'm going to take the balloon and I'm going to place it right here. And make sure that I have it like I want it to go. And I'm going to just kind of go the other way a little bit. So that will be fine. And then I want to decide where I'm going to put this balloon. So we can kind of lay it like right here. So I am going to go ahead and just add a glue dot. So I'm going to bring in my glue dot. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my string of my balloon to that. And pick up that glue dot. And place that about right here. And then take the backings off the fence. We took the backing off the one we added the balloon to, but I didn't take the others off. And you could add a mini one in the middle, which I think we will because I don't want it to sag. Sometimes but I also don't want it to show on the other side. I think I picked up a backing off of another, and that is going to show. So we're going to take that off. And let's see if we can add it to the fence. That will work. We'll add it to the fence. It's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is right in the middle. And I think that will work. Still going to show just a little bit, so I am just going to kind of squeeze that and make it a little bit smaller. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to add our fence right here. We want to take our hat and add a mini glue dot on the back. One will fit just fine. Make sure you get it just high enough so it doesn't show when you turn it over. And we will set this right on top of our little sheep. And I think it needs one more dimensional. This is when I need fingernails. Usually I do, but some of them have broke off. So we can put that right. So you're going to want to have 2 dimensionals on the hat. And the reason for that is because we have our sheep is popped up, and I actually think we're going to put 2. So we're going to put one mini, and then we're going to place another one right on top. So the top of the hat will have 2 mini dimensionals. The bottom will just have 1. The bottom one's going to sit on the sheep's head. There we go. It's perfect. And then we're going to bring in So Glad It's Your Birthday, and bring in our sun. I'm going to add 1 regular dimension on the back of our sun, and we're going to pop that up right in the left-hand corner. And then So Glad It's Your Birthday, and we could just adhere this, or we can add We can pop it up with dimensionals, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think we can get by with 2. So happy it's your birthday. And we will set that right up here in the corner on the right-hand side. And then let's bring in some gems. I'm going to bring in the red rhinestone basic jewels, and I'm going to use a putty of our Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to pick up, just kind of slide off, and it picks right up. And put one over here. Put one down here. And let's see, we'll do one more. So what do you think? Okay, here is our card. So glad it's your birthday. So let me know what you think. It isn't it's an easy card. It takes a little bit of time because we have to die cut out a few items, but this stamp set, counting sheep, tongue twister there, is really a cute set. So I really like it. And again, if you do not have this, today is the last day that you can receive it free by placing a $50 order. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe by clicking that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you like the card. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards.